Welcome to Sideline Sports, where we give you an up-close look at the teams, coaches, and athletes that make up the Columbia Basin. This time, we look at the 2016 Soap Lake football team. Ephrata Football looks to get back into contention this season after a 4-6 record in 2015. Moses Lake Football wants to continue their success from last year, and there was one game last week. The 1A state champs Royal Knights took on Ellensburg. Sideline Sports starts now.
2015 was a tale of two seasons for the Soap Lake Eagles football team, and they're hoping to avoid the same fate in 2016. Last year, the Eagles bolted out to a 5-0 start, outscoring their opponents 163-43 in that span, but their final 3 weeks saw the tables turn, and Soap Lake was outscored 134-20 in their 3 losses. The late season stumble gave the Eagles a 5-3 finish, but with Warden, Mabton, and Okanagan all moving back up to the A level, head coach Tony Blankenship is optimistic about his team's chances this year.
I think it's going to be a lot of uncertainty, but I do think from our standpoint as an athletic for our school, I think it helps us. I mean, Warden going back to the A's, Okanagan going back up to the A's. I think you're going to see a very balanced league, all the way through. Tenaskeet's a very big 2B school. We've got a lot of kids out. We have 50 kids out for football. But from the AD meeting the other day, it sounded like our AD told us everybody's in the same boat. They got about a team and a half. So I think you're going to see a balanced league. It's going to be fun, and we're looking forward to it.
It's a successful season for Soap Lake if what?
Well, that's a tough question. I think just getting better week to week and continuing this program where we're still having 30 kids out. But this year, a successful program for us is, to really get to the playoffs. That is something that hasn't happened here in a while.
Soap Lake opens the season on the road at Tenaskeet on September 2nd. In Soap Lake, Devin Higgins for iFiber1 News.
Sideline Sports is brought to you in part by Barry Motors. Located in Ephrata, Wenatchee, and Moses Lake, Barry Motors is one great place to buy a car. After 4-6 in 2015, the Ephrata football team looks to get back into contention.
The Ephrata Tigers enter the 2016 football season hoping to get back into contention in a stacked Central Washington Athletic Conference. After back-to-back winning seasons in 2013 and 2014, the Tigers stumbled to a 4-6 record last year, but still finished tied for 4th. With a young nucleus anchoring this year's team, Tigers head coach Jay Mills says he has a clear idea of what it will take to make Ephrata a title contender.
Last year was a good competitive team for us, and it was nice to have a shot at the postseason, especially for those seniors we had. They'd worked really hard in our program, so that was great to get them a chance at that. For us to get over the hump, we're going to have to beat the champions, and the last couple of years the big guys have been Prosser and Ellensburg, and when we can get over that hump by beating them, that gives us a chance to be more competitive and go deeper into the playoffs.
For Ephrata, it'll be a successful season if what?
We continue to improve each week. I think will be the big thing, and we can play our best game each week is what we're looking for. Statistically wise, when we look at that, we want to be competitive in each game and play to our best. And if we can do that week to week and improve, I think it'll be a real successful season for us and give us a chance at the postseason.
The Tigers open their 2016 campaign at home at Kiwanis Field against Kashmir on September 2nd. In Ephrata, Devin Higgins for iFiber1 News.
Sideline Sports is brought to you in part by MedVed Northwest. Free estimates for all your excavation and concrete needs. Moses Lake Football wants to continue on their success from last year.
The Moses Lake Chiefs are getting ready for the 2016 football season, hoping to carry over the success they had in 2015. The Chiefs finished 9-4 last year, but went undefeated on the way to a Big 9 title and a spot in the 4A state tournament. Their hopes for a state title ended on their home turf at Lions Field with a quarterfinal loss to Richland, and head coach Todd Griffith said he's working on keeping his players focused and not resting on their laurels.
We've got another tough non-league schedule. I think that's one thing that set us straight right off the bat. I don't know about the target on your back. I mean, I'm sure that like I told the kids, you're probably gonna get everybody's best game. I don't know if everybody thinks we're number one in league or whatever. I don't really care. All I care about is our kids getting better every day. I think we're a talented group. I think we could be pretty good, but the way we practice today, we got a lot of work to do. So, but our kids are ready and they're ready for the challenge.
Finish the sentence for me. So it'll be a successful season for Moses Lake if Why?
I always tell our kids, I don't ever say Tacoma Dome or that kind of stuff. I may in talking a little short, but I say the first thing we got to be in the playoffs. We got to be first in league, and we got to make sure that we are setting ourselves up to be successful. Anything can happen. I guess, it's a successful season for first in league, and we're back in the playoffs again.
The Chiefs open their 2016 campaign on September 2nd at Lions Field against Chiawana. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFiber1 News.
Football results: Chiawana 50, Moses Lake 6, Kashmir 22, Ephrata 18, Chelan 21, Quincy 14, Tonasket 7, Soap Lake 0, Royal City 21, Ellensburg 14, Okanagan 28, Warden 26. Sideline Sports brought to you in part by iFiber Communications. Tired of slow internet? Switch to iFiber Communications today and pay only $29.95 per month or get 3 months free. There was one game last week. The 1A state champ Royal Knights took on Ellensburg.
The Royal High School Knights have the goal of repeating as 1A state champions, but they had a tough test to open the 2016 season in the 2A Power Ellensburg Bulldogs Friday night at David Nielsen Memorial Field. The Knights took the lead early when a botched Ellensburg punt gave them great field position. Quarterback Caden Jenks shoved his way into the end zone from a yard out to put Royal on the board 7-0 after the PAT. Still 7-0 Royal in the start of the second quarter, and Jenks showed why he's on the radar of schools like Montana, Weber State, and Oregon State. From his own 13-yard line, he finds junior Corbin Christensen, and he's off to the races for 77 yards down to the Bulldogs' 10. Jenks would later punch it in again from the goal line for his second score of the night. Knights led at the break 14-0. Ellensburg needed nearly 3 quarters to get on the board when senior Bryce Helgeson found Nate Andaya for the 42-yard strike to cut the deficit to 14-7. But the Knights would seal the game in the fourth when Jenks found pay dirt through the air this time, hooking up with senior Adrian Trinidad from about 20 yards out. The Bulldogs would score late, but it wasn't enough as the Knights win 21-14. Royal hits the road next week to open league play against the Zilla Leopards. In Royal City, Devin Higgins for iFiber1 News.
Here's a look at your upcoming football schedule. Volleyball games upcoming. And on the pitch, here are the upcoming soccer games. This has been Sideline Sports. I'm Jeff Slakey.